Welcome back to Less is More, the series of habits that you can adopt to for a leaner, healthier, happier you, addressing diabetes, pre-diabetes, overweight, inflammatory diseases, all with a very basic system. That basic system is less is more. Back to basics, back to the natural way, all based very solidly in science. So low carb, high fat diet, the cornerstone. Squashing up your eating window, extremely important. Sorting your stress out, your cortisol levels out, extremely important. Using exercise as a tool to create yin and yang in your body, very important. And now we get to the last point, sleep. Now sleep is relatively sort of underrated as far as reboot, reset, and restart. It we tend to always eat into that. Sleep. First of all, sleep from a medical point of view is a very complex system that we really know very little about. To be honest, that we haven't gone much forward in this because we don't really understand a lot of the things, the REM sleep and the paradoxical sleep and the deep sleep and dreaming and all these factors are sort of beyond the scope of this video, but are important. Uh, Sleep is very important. Now you say to me, now how does sleep fit into weight loss? I'm basically saying that if you sleep, you sleep your way to weight loss, which is an absolute bargain. And it's what's more important is that you shouldn't lose any sleep worrying about your weight loss. You should get the system going and get the yin and yang going. So it's a very important. In our modern times, we're always engaged. The screen era is with us. I mean, we're always engaged. We never, ever break that cycle of engagement. We would study or we would do the presentation. When we work away from the presentation, up with the cell phone. Didn't I get a WhatsApp? Didn't I get a thing? What about the Facebook? Da, da, da. Look at a little joke, read a little article, and then go into the next meeting. If we're waiting to go to say an important job interview, what we do is we sit there and rather than talk to the guy next to you or just worry or think about your family or think about philosophical things or think about nice things to do or things that you have done, think people you love, what things you want to do, bucket lists, that sort of thing, bang, out comes the phone, on the phone, engaged all the time, and we've lost the ability to disengage. And that's the first step towards sleeping better and breaking your stress cycle, is to be less engaged. Break that cycle. If your computer is broken or doesn't want to function, or your cell phone doesn't work, and you ask someone that's supposed to know, the first thing he says is, have you switched it off and restarted it? Have you switched off and restarted? And you go, and then you do it, and it actually fixes it. In very often, it fixes it. And our bodies are the same. We need to restart. We need to reboot. And the way to do that is with sleep. But you need to it's very important to not be so engaged all the time that even when you go to bed, the last thing you do is you watch a YouTube video, or you sit and do your last little email that you forgot to do, and then expect to just sleep. No, it's not going to work that way. You have to wind down. You have to get that rhythm going, that classic rhythm of 8 hours of work, 8 hours of play, and 8 hours of sleep. And those are in equal proportion. It's a circle, and it's a pie chart that are supposed to be in equal proportion. And as soon as the proportions gets messed up, it starts wonking further and further. And normally the work is the one that gets more, the play is the one that gets less, and the sleep goes up and down just to squeeze in the parts there. So what a mess. So you need to get that rhythm going again. Be a little bit less engaged in your activities, and spend more time with the people you love. what's very important and very, very close to my heart, because this whole system is actually about back to basics and balance. And what's the natural way? We like to base it in science, and we have based it in science, everything. But it's really important to remember that we are of this world, and that we are part of this world, and we are just fancy animals in this whole system. That we are not above the natural forces and the things that drive us. And those are the things: eat, sleep, and procreate. That's it. That's the bottom line. And we need to keep those things equal, and we need to keep them alive, and we need to not artificially switch them on and off, especially sleep. Please don't get into the habit of reaching out for a little tablet to make you sleep. That's crazy behavior, because it's not going to work, and B, it's going to mess with your head. The same as the way the screen messes with your head. It gives you those likes. What a pleasure. I got 30 likes today. I got 150 likes for this thing. That's a little dopamine. Boom, boom, dopamine, dopamine, dopamine. And it's not even real. Those people don't even know you. They don't care. They pushed the like button because they didn't know what else to do. They didn't dislike it, so they maliked it. So those are all overrated things that tend to rule our lives. And we must stop doing that. Start getting back to basics, being a little bit more natural about things, and keeping those natural rhythms going. Remember that all work and no play make Jack or Jill a very fat, unhealthy, and dull boy or girl. So we need to really get those things going, hey? All right. So that sort of concludes our sleep section. There's massive things that we can say about this, but it's beyond the scope of this video, and we may do more videos on this if you want to. Join me for the next video, where we will recap the whole system very quickly in one video, so that you have those pearls to take home and be healthier and happier and thinner and smiling.